To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Please silence phones, pagers, and other devices like that. Item number 2, citizens' concerns. Do we have anybody wishing to address anything that is not on the agenda? Nobody on the phone? Item number 3, approval of the agenda. I will move today's approval.
Second.
Motion by DeWitt, second by Taylor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Consent agenda items 4 through 10 constitute a consent agenda of routine action items to be considered by one motion. Items pass unanimously unless a separate vote is requested by a board member. Item 4A is approval of the minutes of the November 16 meeting. B, approval of the minutes of the November 19 meeting. 5, approval of claims. 6, county treasurer. A, approval of lifting tax suspension for initials EM. 6B is approval of resolution for abatement of taxes for Yes Communities. 7, board administration. A, approval of resolution for property sale parcel ending in 001, also known as 3406 46th Street, for December 7th at 4:35 p.m. 7B, approve estimate of $3,200 from gaming funds for the cost of the holiday luncheon. 8A, Human Resources, approval of memorandum of personnel transactions. B, authorization to initiate hiring process. C, approval of request to deauthorize county position. 9, Board of Supervisors, approval to appoint Daniel Lind and Bob Stewart to represent the Board of Supervisors on the Compensation Commission representing the board members. 10, Secondary Roads, approve the underground utility permit for NIPCO. I will back up to item 9. The last two people that I had asked to, the last time I was chairman, asked to represent us on the comp board, asked to not be reassigned or reappointed. So I found these two very willing gentlemen to represent us on the commission. So any questions on the consent agenda? I will move approval.
Second.
Motion by DeWitt, second by Taylor. Mr. Butler.
Go back to 7B. We plan on having that December 14th from 11 to 1.
Okay, thank you very much.
It was Raddick on the second.
He seconded.
Oh, Raddick was second, I'm sorry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Item 11, building services. Approve resolution appointing Rocky DeWitt to Woodbury County Law Enforcement Center Authority Commissioner.
This agenda item resolution is for Woodbury County to put a commissioner on the seat of the LEC Authority. Rocky currently fills that seat, but that term expires on December 31st, according to the previous resolution. And Woodbury County is required to fill that seat. This would fill the seat for a new term from January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2027. So it's a 6-year term. That term is basically part of the, I guess, part of the bylaws, if you want to call it that, of the LEC Authority. And worked with Joshua on the resolution. Any questions?
I don't want to sound like I'm monopolizing the position, but the commissioner cannot live in the county seat.
That's correct.
So there.
And that is also.
It's either you or you.
Second.
Motion by Raddick, second by Taylor. Any other comments or questions or desires to?
I would note that we added some vacancy language to the resolution that wasn't in the prior appointment. I think by operation of law, it likely would happen anyway, but it's stated in the resolution here just so that everyone's clear. It states that if the supervisor were to move to the county seat or no longer be a member of the Board of Supervisors, then the appointment would be vacant and the supervisors would have to reappoint.
And would that have to be an elected, someone that's elected to be appointed to that, or how would that? Because now I'm curious.
There's not a requirement in the code that the supervisors pick one of their members. So in theory, it could be someone other than a supervisor.
Okay.
Still want you. Go ahead.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 4-0. Item 12, secondary roads. Approve the certificate of completion for project K46 with Graves Construction for $1.515 million. Thank you, Kenny. I think. Just one more title for the resume there.
Your term is as long as a U.S. Senator now. That's some permanence for your legacy.
Yeah. I'll be vested in that. Sir?
Project K46 is the bridge that was damaged beyond repair in 2018 when floods hit the Little Sioux River. Work has been completed. It's open to traffic. Completion date was August 6th. They had the last of their paperwork to us by August 13th. I recommend the board certify the project as accepted.
I'll move that.
Second.
Motion by Raddick, second by Taylor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 4-0. Is there something I get to sign on that, Mark, or?
Yes, I've got a couple of things for you to sign. I just thought I'd bring them all up at once
Okay.
while your pens are warmed up.
Item B, approve the contract for Oak Ridge Park Project to Holly Brown Construction for $66,078.
This is to repair the embankment and let-down structure of a pond that's on the Oak Ridge property. This is funded partially by the Hungry Canyons Alliance and by the Conservation Department. My staff will be supervising construction. I recommend approval of the contract.
I'll move that.
Second.
Motion by Duet, second by Raddick. Any other questions for Mark? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 4-0. Thank you. I'll set them back up here. Item 13, Board Administration, approval of the annual urban renewal report for FY 2021.
This report is due by December 1st of the calendar year. It has been completed, now it just needs to be passed by the board. It shows where we have spent our TIF money. About 60-some thousand went to attorney fees. This involved a lawsuit with Sergeant Bluff, which we won. It also involves a $200,000 rebate to CF, which was a four-year plan. I think we're at the end of that this year. So we'll have one more payment this year, then we're done with that. And then the rest of it is for the Dogwood Trail, AGP Road, that TIF area project there, and that's about $397,000. And this reflects expenditures during fiscal year '21.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion by Taylor, second by Raddick. Any further questions for Mr. Butler? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Thank you, Mark. Passes 4-0. This is going well. Item 14, reports on committee meetings.
In your stead, I chaired town hall meeting with Supervisors Raddick and Wright in Salix. That went well. We had 6 members of the public, in addition to city and county employees. And Mark, as always, Mark Nera had some feedback and gave some education on the 5-year bridge schedule and 5-year plan, so that was helpful. Also, Dan Heisel gave quite a bit of commentary on drainage issues and what they can do with their quasi pond, I guess we'd call it. Yeah, so.
And because you guys weren't there, you were the reason that there was not enough funding for other stuff, and
Yeah.
everything was your fault, so.
See, nothing's changed.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah.
It's mostly
else?
rocky.
I'm sorry?
It's mostly rocky that
Yeah, because he's
Yeah.
the chair.
about.
Right.
Yes. Mr. Taylor, do you have anything, or?
Yeah, so I had Woodbury County Soil and Water Conservation this morning, discussed with Ben Anderson, watershed inspector, the last 15 months since he's been on the job. All projects have to be submitted by the 14th of December, or unobligated funds go back. And so in a dry year, people aren't thinking as much about erosion control, so they're going to put out an ad in the Mobile Record, letting farmers know the parameters, how the program works for terracing, crop cover, et cetera. Discuss scholarships for those going into soil conservation, staff reports. Thought it was a very good first meeting. And then I wasn't at the conservation meeting, but met with Dan at the Nature Center, Dan Heisel, today, and just a couple of big ticket items. One is they finalized the budget, and good news is it's about 1.74% or $8,500 more than last year's. So that's not a very seismic increase. But the really big good news is that they acquired, through a REAP grant of $777,000, the largest #1 land acquisition in the state of Iowa, just 240 acres. The old Salsness property, which is west of Odo and south, Little Sioux Township. So that's going to really be significant. That'll be about 5% of our entire conservation land, and not taking it out of really tax rolls. Mostly timber. I think you've funded that before. So that's all good news. And other than that, I'm just kind of getting my feet wet on those two committees. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Reddick?
Nothing.
Did have an LEC authority meeting this afternoon prior to the meeting today here. We are making progress, digging footings. I understand the footing should be done middle of December. So nothing vertical yet, but it is progress nonetheless.
They're going to start pouring tomorrow.
Yep. So a little surprised to see the size of these footings. They're quite substantial. Item number 15, second round of citizen concerns. Any other citizens wishing to address anything?
Yes.
Oh,
Michelle Scaff, Deputy Auditor. I just wanted you to be aware, we've been working on the payroll budgeting, and fiscal year '23 is a 27 pay period year, and what that means is for salaried individuals, normally they're used to having 26 pay periods, so we divide their salary by 27, which means if there were a 0% increase, they would be getting a lower paycheck bi-weekly than they currently do. So I just wanted you to be aware of this. I know that there's some projections that I've been asked to provide as far as percentages, and that's across the wage plan, elected, and percent deputies.
It doesn't go over very well.
thank you. Do you have any citizen concerns, Mr. Gill? Item 16, board concerns. Anyone?
Somebody from our staff office was concerned that you might take too long on this meeting.
Huh. Huh.
Sure.
Because we won't have any turnover next year on the board, we sometimes consider 1 or 2 weeks worth of budget at the end of December. Is that something we could do this time?
I don't know why not.
Right now, we have planned to get the budget books out the 27th, I believe. It takes time putting it together because payroll's a big issue, because we have to merge them all together before we give them to you people. The 27th what we're shooting at, and we have a schedule starting the 4th of January with the hearings. The schedule pretty much follows the same as last year. Now, if we can, get them out. We could do a few, you know, the 27th maybe. Ones are very easy to do, like allocations, things like that.
I don't see why not, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'd
Try. Yep.
Mr. Whitman, do you have anything for the cause?
No, sir.
Mr. Radig, I'm
Nothing.
told to try and keep this a short meeting, doing my darndest almost. Sheriff, you have anything you'd like to discuss, or? We are adjourned.